Continuing now with our lead story, a fair immigration plan. Joining us from Washington, Charles Krauthammer. Fair is the key word here. Any quibbles with the memo, Charles?
Well, there's a lot in the memo, so let me just say, I think you got to divide the problem in two. The first is to secure the border, meaning prevent new illegal immigrants from coming in. The second is, what do you do with those already here? I would postpone the second half of that because I think if you could secure the border, you would get a rush, you'd get a national consensus to be generous and humane and legalize the overwhelming majority of those already here. But you have to show Americans, the American people, that this is the last time it's going to happen. Remember, they got swindled with the Reagan amnesty in 1986. They were told we're going to secure the border. They amnestied 3 million illegal immigrants, and of course the amnesty went through. Shutting of the border did not. So I would emphasize a couple of things. I would include, I agree with you about the barrier. I think it should be a serious barrier, either a wall or a fence. I'd advocated this ever since 2006. But also, you've got to do interior enforcement, Bill. So many of the illegal immigrants are people who overstay the visa. You've got to have a visa tracking system. And the second is E-Verify. If people come across the border and they're coming here to work, if they can't find work because an E-Verify system automates the checking to see if they're legal, they're not going to come over.
It's not a foolproof system, as you know, though.
No,
we did it last week. We did a phony document segment on this program, very easy to get. You can get a 3-pack in L.A. Everybody knows where to get it. So I like the E-Verify, but look, Trump has to present himself as a man who's not vindictive. Would you agree with that? He's not vindictive. I just want to protect the nation, right?
Well, I think you can make that case. By the way, on the E-Verify, what you're doing is you're doing layers. You don't expect any layer to catch everybody, and that's why you do one layer. No, it makes it harder.
I understand that, but
yeah, but I think
people think it's foolproof.
What you got to do, it doesn't matter how you present it. You got to have results. If I were Trump, I would institute these steps right away, working with Congress. You've got the majority. Do it. Finally, do it.
Punish the sanctuary cities, like I said?
Absolutely. I'd punch you. Absolutely.
Pull it right and say, like Jerry Brown, hey, Jer, you know, hey, Jer, you're not getting any money for L.A. or San Diego. Well, San Diego's not a sanctuary city, I don't think. Or San Francisco, you know, you're not getting any money. All right, so you and your high-tech train that you want to build, you can forget it. All right? You'll be lucky if you have a skateboard when we get tourist you.
First of all, Bill,
yeah.
the high-speed train, I would cancel one way or the other. It's ridiculous. But second, you notice how these liberals who want to do the sanctuary cities are speaking the language of the Southern segregationists, the language of nullification and interposition, which incidentally was the language of the Confederates.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting point, but it's way too over my head.
We live in a federal system.
I know, it's way over my head. I can't grasp what you're saying, so let's get back to something I can understand. Okay, why isn't Australia a racist nation? They got 24 million people. We have 300 million more people. It's the same landmass. And now we have to take 2,000 people that they shipped off to some island. We have to take them. They can't take 2,000 people. What's going on over there?
Look, you're right about the racist. Until a generation ago, Australia had an explicit policy of white Australia for legal immigrants. So,
they don't do that anymore, though.
No, that was a generation ago, but nonetheless, it's not something that you would have had here. But look, I think people understand if you can be generous, once you've secured the border, you can be generous with the people here. I would not ask them to register, Bill.
I would.
You're going to cause all kinds of social, unless you've got a plan.
I have a plan.
Well, what's your plan?
My plan is you register with the federal government. Right. All right, now we know where you live and who you are. We cross-check, and the criminals won't. Okay, so this gives you a felony right off the bat. You can take them right off the street. And the law-abiding migrants that are here, we know who they are, know if they're paying taxes, and we can regulate them. Nobody knows where they are, Charles. They're running all over the place.
So
that's not right. That's chaos.
So your plan would agree with mine, and you would legalize all those who aren't criminals.
No. I'd register them, and then we would take a look at the situation. After the border was secure, as you suggested. Would you know who they are, where they are.
All I would do.
All right, I got to move ahead now. Have you changed your mind on Trump at all since he was elected?
No, I haven't. But
Nothing?
When he was elected, something happened. The question went from being should he be president to what's he going to do as president. Once the people have spoken, and they spoke unequivocally, he's the chosen. He's now going to be our president. He has the legitimacy, and I would even say the majesty of the office. Okay, but you,
Charles, you haven't softened up on him, his picks, the way he's conducting himself?
I have a completely open mind. I'm judging him by what he does.
But right now you haven't changed. He hasn't gone up a little bit in the Dr. Krauthammer meter of approval.
He's done things since he's been elected, since he won the election, that I actually am encouraged by.
All right.
Some of his appointments, some of his moves, and if he's going to govern like this, I would not hesitate.
Well, we're going to check in with you every few months and see if the meter of approval is going up. Where's Rudy Giuliani? I thought he was going to be Secretary of State. The guy's in a witness protection program. Have you seen him for 3 weeks? Where is he?
I have no idea, but I don't think he's going to be Secretary of State.
Isn't that strange, though, that he disappears?
Well, he'll be back. They all come back.
But why did he leave? You must know.
Well, I'm not exactly an intimate of Donald Trump.
But you know everything. Where is he?
No, I don't have the powers of divination. Do you expect me to pull out a Ouija board here and find him?
Ask one of those guys that you hang with.
Where in the world is Rudy?
I don't know where he is. I thought he was going to be one of Trump's main guys.
I want to know. Well, you tell me where Governor Christie is.
Who?
Chris Christie.
He's in Jersey.
He's a little bit harder to hide.
It's hard to get across the George Washington Bridge. He's in traffic. All right, one more thing. Who do you think is Secretary of State material? Who'd you like to see? Real quick.
I think the most qualified would be John Bolton or David Petraeus. Well, he may not be. You asked me who's the most qualified.
Okay.
And the second choice would be David Petraeus.
And they're both good choices. Charles, thank you.